Hey guys, welcome back to Pokemon TCG Deck Strategies, and today I'm going to be showing y'all a three simple card lineup that will basically guarantee 100% troll and what you can do to increase it. Now, the first card it's Vileplume from Ancient Origins with a very annoying ability called Irritating Pollen. Here, let me zoom in so y'all can see it. Vileplume. Basically, it's Irritating Pollen is its ability to where each player can't play any item cards, and it's very annoying to deal with, especially in expanded format. So what are some of the decks you see it played in? Well, for instance, we see it played the most in Vespiquen and Flareon from Plasma Blast and Ancient Origins as well. And so, basically, these are the top two main decks that we see them in, not many others, but I'm going to be showing y'all ways to where we can improve these two decks, to where it just becomes so annoying that your opponent just scoops on you. So, now, the way that we're able to play our items and stuff, but here, we're going to do this. We'll make it to where we can play our items, but our opponent can't do nothing. And this is how we do it. I run a Garbodor. But wait, if I have Vileplume up, how am I going to be able to attach a tool card to Garbodor and then be able to use Irritating Pollen again? Well, I solved that problem and I thought about it. And since we're in a Vespiquen deck or Flareon deck that does increase damage off of Pokemon in discard pile, why not run a Klefki? Because you already run Klefki in Vespiquen, so why not Wonderlock onto the Garbodor to shut down Irritating Pollen for one turn? But the only problem is, wait a moment. If I Wonderlock, it lasts till the end of my opponent's turn until they say pass and it's your turn again. Then Irritating Pollen's back on. But there is a way to shut this down before it's your opponent's turn. Your opponent's turn to where they could play their items, but we don't want them doing that. So that's the reason why we run a hectic amount of Field Blower. You run like 3 or 4 Field Blower in this deck. Yes, it's crazy. But we Field Blower away the Klefki. But how it's like, if we're going to, most likely in this deck you run 4 to 3 copies of Klefki. I normally run all 4 copies because you want them all 4 in your deck. But yes, Field Blower, basically you discard the Klefki to where before your turn ends, you Field Blower away the Klefki, Garbotoxins shut off, and then Irritating Pollen's back on, to where your opponent cannot play their items. And so that basically makes your opponent very upset, and they're like, I'm done with this trash. And so yeah, but for ways to get back Klefki, we run a lot of rescue stretchers. Like minimum I would say 3 is best. 4 is a bit outrageous, but 3 is perfectly fine. But thinking about expanded decks with Vespiquen, 4 copies would be nice, but I normally stick with 3 because it's consistent. But yeah, Rescue Stretcher to get back all your Klefkis, always shuffle them back into your deck, and then to where you could consistently Wonderlock onto your Garbodor, to where you could just consistently annoy your opponent to where they can't play any items. And then also, if you want to take it a step further, you could add it, if you want to even add any more troll, you could run an Enhanced Hammer to discard special energies, and run a whole bunch of Crushing Hammers to flip a coin and discard energy cards in play. But also, there are supporter cards that do the same, to where Team Flare Grunt, where you discard an energy off your opponent's active Pokemon, and then there's Plumeria, to where you discard 2 cards from your hand, and then choose a energy card from one of your opponent's Pokemon and discard it. Yes, this is the discarding segment area, and even better, a very good supporter for this deck, to the point where your opponent cannot play items during their turns. Think about it. What supporter makes it to where you could draw a whole bunch of cards and your opponent can't play any items at the same time? Why not run 1 copy of Ghetsis along with this line? Because seriously, Ghetsis is the perfect supporter to go with Vileplume, because if no players can play any item cards and you're consistently basically making it to where your opponent cannot use their abilities or their items, and you have Ghetsis in your hand, your opponent, imagine if they have a 10 card item hand. Well, you guess what? You get to draw 10 cards. And this is especially good for like later in the game to where if you can't play items as well, because if you can't like get into your field blower or not your field blower, oh my gosh, your clef keys. Well, if your opponent has a huge hand, you play Getsis and get rid of all of those item cards in their hand, and you draw all of those cards for it to where you could draw into your clef keys, your field blowers, and your rescue stretchers, and your VS Seekers, all that you need to where you control your opponent. And yeah, guys, this is just a small little strategy deck that I have personally used, and it is so fun to use against people because people absolutely hate it. But yeah, it's very fun to use, and it majorly boosts Vespiquen decks. And yeah, guys, this is Pokemaster Slayer signing off. Hope y'all having a blessed day, and God bless you in every single way. Later. Later.